Let's tear that idea up of the dark and depressing. Do you want the ability not only to talk about your issues, but to laugh about them as well? Like these guys.
Keep your hand down. Thwack! I don't know, this is how we describe it.
Well, come and join us on Stuck in the Middle, where we talk about men's mental health and all things mental. Let's break the stigma with some great stories, some good tips that you can take away from the show each week. But most importantly, let's have some fun.
Don't forget the guests.
Oh yeah, the guests. And there are guests going to be on the show that are going to be talking about their experiences and how they deal with their daily mental health struggles. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to give us that like
And subscribe.
and most importantly, press that notification bell so you don't miss a thing or any of the tips that we're going to give you. This is Stuck in the Middle. I'm Geordie Paul and I'm all in.
I'm Andy Man, and I'm all in.
Are you all in? Alright everyone.
Hey, on me ducks.
Ducks. I like ducks. Ducks is good. Everyone, ducks. Alright everyone. Welcome to Stuck in the Middle. Hope you're all doing well. I've been really excited about this. I know you have. Everyone's been banging on about when's it coming out. So it's took a while, but it's finally here. Today is our first episode. Too much?
Just a bit, mate, yeah.
Just a bit. Well, today is our first episode, and we're going to cover a topic within mental health that is actually quite difficult to talk about for a lot of people. Intrusive thoughts.
I get intrusive thoughts all the time, mate. Like getting that mic and ramming it down your throat.
Nice, thank you, I think.
Or put Tabasco sauce in your coffee. That'd be good. But it's funny, though, really. I should probably just throw that shit mug of yours at the wall and replace it with a forest one.
You see, I'm going to have to... If you're going through some tough times, that they're actually really hard to deal with. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on and go through some funny intrusive thoughts that you guys have sent in. So thank you very much for that. We really, really appreciate that. I thought mine was funny the other day until my mate rang me. This one's brilliant. It's overtook mine.
You haven't told me about that one.
No, I haven't told you about that one. Simply because I wanted you to hear it for the first time. Like you guys are going to hear it.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's a good one. It is a really good one. So listen out for that later on in the episode, where we'll give you guys a trick or tip or however you want to put it. Keep your hand down, Paul. Put Tabasco sauce in, but leave that a comment below. Yeah, it is a good one. To be fair, that was slightly better. We're going to go through that a little later on in the episode. We will also give you guys a trick or tip, depending on what you want to call it, later on to help you with these intrusive thoughts. First though, since it's our very first episode, we wanted to give you an introduction into us and what we can give you to take away from the different shows that might help you, or you can pass on to a friend or a family member that struggles with mental health. There will be something for everybody to take away from the show. Whether it helps you or not, I guess is a different thing. We'll try them as well, but that's what we're going to be doing in each show. So let's get into it. Andy, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Yeah, how are you?
I'm really good, really good. Well, I'm good-ish. What have you been up to? I know you've just recently retired from the fire service, haven't you?
Yeah, same old, mate. Just been busy, you know what it's like. But yes, I have just retired from the fire service after 5.5 years. And obviously, as you're aware, that did affect my mental health. Hence the reason why we're here doing this. I had some great experiences in the fire service. Met some really good people. But again, some of the stuff you see, you just can't unsee.
I guess that's for an individual. You have to really want to be a part of that fire service thing. I don't think it's something that I just fell into the job that I fell into, but a lot of people sort of look, the police and stuff like that. It's one of those careers. It's quite difficult. I would imagine that you've, been through a lot with what you've seen on a day-to-day basis and things like that. So yeah, no, I get that.
Pretty stressful job, but like I say, all the emergency services are pretty stressful anyway. But we're all kind of in the same boat with that.
Do you just take that home with you then? How does that work?
So for me, because I was on call, obviously I ran my own business. I still run my own business, and I basically had a pager on my hip. And if I put myself on call, whenever the pager went off, I would go off to station, deal with whatever you're dealing with, and then you kind of come home and you've got to leave it at work. Somebody told me in the fire service years ago, take your helmet off, hang it up and leave your work under your helmet.
Okay.
You can't take it home.
Easier
with you.
said than done, though, right?
Yeah, definitely easier said than done.
You've seen something really traumatic. You know, the only way I can obviously empathise with that little bit is because, you know, the accident that I've had with my arm, which I'll tell you about in a minute. But I can see where it just runs through in your mind, you know, the PTSD and things like that. So leaving it under your hat, although, you know, is a good way to maybe deal with that. I would imagine that's still difficult on the tough days.
Yeah, the thing you can't take it home with you. If you take it home with you, it becomes your life. And with me being on call, it wasn't my primary employment. It wasn't my full-time job. And you've got to
that's got to be difficult as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Doing two businesses, I mean, being a firefighter, again, I'm assuming, and for all the firefighters and stuff that are out there, it's a full-on job.
It can be. No, it really can be. And I say with being on call, it's very much when your page goes off, you're out working. Whereas as whole-time firefighter, you can be sat around doing not a lot for hours on end.
The ability to be able to talk about stuff like that within the fire service.
Yeah,
is there a support network there for you?
Support network's fantastic. It is from lower management to right the way up to
really?
external companies. Yeah, the support network is brilliant, and I have used the support network.
Did you benefit from it?
I definitely did, yeah.
So that's no different than, you don't have to necessarily be part of the fire service, but I'm guessing if there's a support network within work and things like that, or friends, or watching a show like this, or listening to a show like this is the same thing. So you have that outlet, the ability to be able to go and talk about different things and stuff like that. So that's really good. I mean, business, I know how stressful business gets. So the fact that, you know, you've hung your helmet up, all your stress is underneath your helmet, and then you've gone into your other work and life stress. So like I said, my brother owns his own business, and I know how stressful that gets. My wife Laura, she works for a really small family run business, and I know how stressful that gets. I was always pretty happy earning a wage and just being an employee. To be fair, I didn't like the idea of chasing the checks, and I know that you can make more money and things like that with it, but it wasn't really for me. How we earn our living, i.e. fireman or steel erector or however, well, not so much anymore, is an episode that we're going to be doing later on, and we're going to go into the family stresses of things that we can do with that, and the stuff that contributes to men's mental health.
Yes, mate, we're all in the same boat in the emergency services. I can definitely say with full confidence, you've got to be a special kind of stupid to take on the role. You really have.
Well, you're a special kind of stupid anyway.
100%.
Okay, cool.
Anyway, enough about me, mate. How's the arm?
The arm's all right. It's getting there. It's comfortable to just sit on. My finger will work. That's pretty much it. But I've actually been really busy with my son's football team. Not that I'm running it or anything. The Garibaldi Reds. I know the parents and everybody's going to be watching it. So hi and shout out to the Garibaldi Reds. Up the Baldies.
Up the Reds.
Nope, not that Reds. Although the coach is a mad Forest fan. And she's a brilliant coach.
She's got some sense then.
She has not got any sense when it comes to who she supports, but she's a good coach. She knows how to run a football team. I know you're all listening, so hi and shout out to the Garibaldi Reds. It's a new team. It's one of the best family cultures in a football team that we've been around. Me and Laura and Nathan have done a few, and some of them can be quite toxic. If any of you have kids and you're in football teams and things like that, it is... it can be... I'm sighing there, and I'll guarantee there'll be people listening and sighing at the same time.
Been there myself.
Or any sport. I think that I like the fact that the football's a team thing because it gives the lads or girls who are playing football, a way to interact with each other and stuff like that. Individual sports like the swimming, I can't describe how, as a spectator, this gala stuff is absolutely breaking my brain because you sit there all day. You wait 50 seconds. You sit there all day. You wait for your child to swim for 50 seconds, and then you sit a little bit longer for them to maybe swim another 50-second swim. So and the pool, the swimming pool, it's hot in there. So while you're dripping away watching people that, all right, you like watching your team, but you just really wait. Especially with my son, he's only 10 years old, so he's only just started it. So I'm anxious to see how he's getting on. And it's such a solo sport. I know they're in their teams and things like that, but it with your tennis or anything, I need to look into it. So, if you've got any hints and tips for parents on how to deal with solo sports and how to stay motivated within that, or how to encourage somebody to stay motivated within
Headphones and podcasts. That's the way forward.
Yes,
right?
there's a great podcast out. It's
I've
only just
heard.
came out.
I've heard.
It's called Stuck in the Middle. No, I like that. So yeah, but my arm's okay. For those, it's actually been really overwhelming. The arm, the whole process is something that I've never dealt with before in my arm. For you, those of you who don't know, I had an accident at work where a steel beam fell and crushed my arm. I almost lost my arm. Then I had compartment syndrome, and they've cut it all out. And I know some of you, friends and family, who've seen the arm and stuff like that. It's been a long process. It's been 8 months now, and
it's been pretty nasty, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's not been great. Well, you know, your partner in particular, Tash, literally got a hold of us and just smashed us together and said, "Right, you two talk."
It was literally like that. I think for me, like, she knew that you was struggling. She knew I was struggling. I think she'd had enough of dealing with it on her own, and she saw how much we bounced off each other. She saw how much we just basically connected.
Yeah, well, we got on really well, and because we were forced into being able to talk about some issues and stuff, and you know, at first it seems really difficult. I mean, I've always cracked a joke about things if you want to talk, and I think men in generally do that anyway. But I did find that we were really lucky because we were really open about it. So if there's any word of advice coming from someone that's had experience with mental health, that you've had experience with mental health, just get it out.
Yeah.
And just be open. Embrace the whole talk thing. My brother in particular, when I'm talking to you guys, right, one of the first images in my head is my brother, because he's I suppose your stereotypical bloke, right? He's a little bit younger than me. He owns his own roofing business. He's in charge of lads. He obviously has that same Geordie sort of, eccentric sort of being, a little bit more than me, I must add. But he's like, I'm not talking about my feelings.
Yeah.
Why do I need to talk about my feelings? The only thing I ever feel is if I get punched in the face. I'm like, well.
But that's the exact same thing that I always dealt with, always felt, because it was, you get told all the time, if you're feeling low, you're feeling like you want to talk to people. But then you've got the stigma around, just man up, stop being a pussy about everything. Like,
yeah, the steel erecting, the sort of vibe that I was in was very much the same. These are big, strong men. Do you know what I mean? And it's very prank orientated and stuff like that. Like, if you're having a bad day, don't go to work. Because
otherwise someone might drop a piece of steel on you.
Weld your boots together. Weld your boots to a beam that's a million miles high that you have to go and cut off. And fire to the back of your boot by dropping a cigarette in your boot. And you've all seen that on the tools, or what's not Lad Bible, there's another one, isn't there? I forget what it is now. The yellow one that you see on YouTube.
That is on the tools.
Is it on the tools? Yeah. There's some great stuff on there.
I've got a video on there.
Yeah. Have you? Of what?
Of my nephew. I've tried to get him to bump start a steel saw.
Yeah, I've seen that one a million times. That's got to be one of the first ones I've seen. But yeah,
brilliant.
I like the ones where they glue something to the floor.
Try to get people
and
to
then pick it up or kick it.
Yeah. There was I watched one the other day with they'd filled a football with sand. Literally filled it with sand and just left it on a pavement outside of a pub. This bloke's come out. He's obviously had a skin fall, seeing a football. What's the first thing you're going to do? It's an intrusive thought.
Yeah.
You're going to kick the football.
Yeah. It is an intrusive thought. I quite like that.
Well, he's kicked this football and it didn't move, but he did. It was quite a funny video to watch.
I tell you what I've found, and I know you feel the same. When you start a conversation light-hearted about a mental health topic, when you came around and your wife put us together, we're having a laugh first, aren't we?
Yeah.
I've always found that, because I like doing things like that, and some of you like it, some of you won't, but if we start with a bit of a light-hearted, you always find that you end up having the deep and meaningful anyway.
Yeah.
So it's a really good way in. A friend of mine actually said the other day, one of the things that he found was difficult, though, is, if one of the guys on site, for example, turns around and says, I don't know, I would jump off this roof, jokingly.
Yeah. And
he didn't know how to take the joke. And he was like, do I then go and speak to him and say, are you feeling all right, mate? Yeah. Like, is that a joke? Is it not? So I'm not saying that having a light-hearted conversation all the time, I'm just saying, if there's things you want to say, you have to follow it up. So I think one of the things I want to get out of this show, and what I want to pass on to everybody else is there's flyers and leaflets and podcast shows and all sorts about these type of things, and it's always about the person who's having the mental health issues.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the times we should be also coaching everyone on how to deal with other people's mental health problems.
Yeah.
If you can identify and not being, it's all right saying don't be scared to talk.
Yeah.
That goes for the person listening as well. Don't be scared to get that in there. Don't be scared to say, "Are you all right, mate?" I think that feels more non-masculine for men, especially. Is the "How you doing, mate?" I would feel uncomfortable. Still, probably
100%. There's a lot more of the it's okay to not be okay thing out there at the minute. So I know personally for me, if I was feeling absolutely fine and somebody said to me, "Are you feeling all right?" Yeah, I'm fine. I also know the stigma around that.
This is my cue. This is my door's just opened. Yeah. Any chance we could have a little chat later on? Yeah, sound.
Yeah.
But then it's on you.
Yeah.
You're the one that's listening. You're the one that needs to come up to me later on and say, because 9 times out of 10, if my day's crap and it hasn't got better, I'm probably going to have a worse day later.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to feel up for talking. But then in the back of my head was, I wish I'd said something then. You know, don't wait. Don't wait. Honestly, I can't describe how good it's felt. Feel? I feel. Sound like, what's the box say? You say. I must feel. I feel very feel. I felt, now that I've started talking and stuff, that it's opened so many support networks.
Yeah.
You, a good friend of mine, Rick, at the Gary Baldage team, I've been talking to him, and it hasn't been, we haven't sat down and, yes, what do I? Right, you want a beer? Do you know what I mean? It's not been like that at all. It's flowed quite nicely, and I like that because when he's looking me dead in the eye and has something to say back. But the support network, I'll guarantee every single one of you who's having any mental health issues and something like that, there is at least one person in your life, whether it's a friend, family, a new friend, a stranger, that they will listen and they'll care and they'll be into that. I know for a fact there's someone listening. If they're not, we are. Yeah.
100%.
All in.
We wanted to create a family-like environment, a little bit similar to the one that I found at the football team, so that everyone feels they can be a part of it. You can message in, you can see all sorts of different things. We want everyone to, even if you like listening, just the main thing that we wanted to get out there is you are not alone with your mental health struggles. We're here, like we've said just now, we're all in. We'll be talking about all sorts of different topics each week, each fortnight. We haven't completely decided. I think what we're going to do is send a batch out.
I think so.
I think if we can give you, 2 or 3 good ones to listen to, and then you've got a while and you can get stuck into them. You can comment, and we get a chance to read everyone's comments. If you want to comment, we'll put an email address on so that you can do all of that. One of the things that we're going to be doing is self-care. That will be the next episode. I'm really looking forward to the self-care.
I'm looking forward to that. I am looking forward to
So, on that note, I've got you a surprise. So, the self-care that we're going to be doing in the next episode, this is just a little bit of a sort of teaser for the next episode, is women's self-care, because they seem to have a lot. Now, I don't want to take our studio setup to a nail bar, so I thought I'd get you, and I don't know if you can see that. If you can see that on there. This one is mine. This is a nice avocado face mask. I'll get that on.
Manly.
Andy's, I've got you a pink hydrogel glitter mask.
Oh, mate, look at that. Difference between me and you, mate. I'll make that look good.
Oh, is that Mike Lowry? And I'd rather use proper. I thought everyone just used real cucumbers, but I didn't realize you could get cucumber cooling iPads, which are a bit strange. But yeah, I thought so. That's the next episode. Other things. What we're gonna hit? We're gonna hit. I want to talk a lot about alcohol. Alcohol is a huge thing to talk about in its own sort of thing.
That might be a couple of episodes.
It could be. We'll have to. Any ideas? All welcome. If you guys want us to talk about stuff, we're more than happy to sit here and talk about it. We'll even get you on. Do you know what I mean? We'll even get you on. Yeah, alcohol, how that affects us. I've had a lot of issues with the alcohol. Not possibly in denial here, but not where I'm dependent on it, but the spiral down when you've had a drink is horrendous.
It's a long way back up again as well.
We want to get good talking about that. I love this next one. Crying. Now, I know this is your favourite, right?
100%.
I think Andy likes a little bit of a cry.
100%. Real men cry, mate.
Real men cry. There's a few different things in that. Work and life, which we've kind of touched on. There's going to be stuff about that on the stresses of supporting your family. Finances. I like the family dynamic when we were talking sort of off air. Love that. That's the first time I've been able to say that ever.
Yes.
We were talking off air and about what was I was saying? Talking about crying and the working life. Sorry, the working life and how that and the stresses. We were talking about how families are now, and they're completely different, to when we were younger. And you described them as a blended family.
See, I've got a blended family. Family. I've got 6 children with my ex.
How many?
Partner. 6. 6. Yep.
I mean, I knew that.
6. I knew you had to get that in there.
I wonder if you'd have had 6 kids if you knew how it felt to give birth. Now, obviously, I don't know. I'm trying to sympathise with the women. No.
We'll talk about that.
Toothache's worse.
Toothache's worse. Yeah.
You're right. Okay, bombarded with comments now.
100%.
Right.
But no, I am now in a blended family.
Blended family, and how my brother's the same. He has his daughter with an ex. She has her son with an ex, and they have a daughter together. Do you know what I mean like properly blended? And I know that's. I've been involved in that myself before, but I do like the idea of a blended family. Is that the politically correct way to say it now?
I do believe it is called a blended family.
We've got, I think, did we have 20 odd initial
20,
ideas?
23, yeah. 23 so far.
But we're always going to try and give you something to take away from the show. So every show, we're going to give you a hint or a tip that's going to help you with your mental well-being. We're going to get a guest who's going to be
stuck in the middle.
Where she's going to literally be stuck because this is quite a small setup. So, but we're going to get guests on. I met a couple of people in the hospital. There's one of them guys that wants to get involved. Initially you, but you're now my co-host. There's a few of the football lot that might want to get involved. My wife definitely does not want to get involved, so we'll definitely be getting her on. There's a few, and if you want to be involved yourself, if you live locally, we're in Nottingham, by the way. We're going to be getting people on. It's a podcast that you can either listen to, you can watch, get your thoughts in. We have a few people lined up for that idea. It's going to be good. There's plenty to watch, loads to get involved with. Looking forward to it.
Question for you.
Yes, mate.
Intrusive thoughts.
Right,
Are we actually going to get into that now?
Yes, we're going to get into the intrusive thoughts. But just before we do, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to press that notification bell so that you don't miss a single thing. You don't lose out on any of the hints and tips and things that we're talking about. There's a link going to be in the channel. Now, I know that they're supporting all men's mental health everywhere. It's a charity. Is it a charity?
I believe it's just a group.
Or just a group?
Yeah,
okay,
no,
so it's
a
men's mental health support group, I think, is probably the best way to describe it. Enlighten the Shadows, it's called. We will leave the link in the description. It's going to be all over our Facebook page. We're going to get out to some of them events.
Yep.
We'll post them on my Facebook page, and we'll, again, link it so that you know if any of the events are on. Get yourself down there, come and introduce yourself to us, have a chat. Do you know what I mean? This is exactly what... They do so much good stuff. We are one little podcast. This group seems... I was looking at it last night. It
started as such a small group.
Really?
And it's going from strength to strength.
That's
do
brilliant.
So much to help. It's unreal.
You play for the football team?
I don't know, because it's too far away to travel on. Is it?
What's that football kit I've seen? Or the top?
So, I was given one of them. When I was in the fire service, I was given one because I said I want to represent. And I will wear their shirt when I play football myself every Wednesday night.
Let's get one on. Obviously not now. We'll definitely get them in. That would be really good. Links to all of the stuff will be on our Facebook channel. There'll be QR codes and everything that you can get in there. Okay, so let's get back to the intrusive thoughts. Let's start with the one that my mate told me about the other night.
I'm so excited to hear this one.
It was brilliant.
I hope it is. You've bigged it up a lot.
I have, haven't I? Okay. Oh well. I was creased when he was telling me this. Like, I'll try and sort of tell it from his point of view. All right, intrusive thought number one then. He was in his garden, right? I'm telling this like a proper story, dude. Like, he was in his garden and saw a grey squirrel. I don't do like that voice. I like that voice. We'll try and do that. He was in his garden and he saw a grey squirrel sitting on his garden fence. This squirrel, by the way, is no stranger to the family, right? It's there, I'd say, every day. And his wife and his kids do the whole, hello, Mr. Squirrel and all that out the window. They obviously must feed it, which is why it's coming back every day. So they like this grey squirrel.
Yep.
Personally, I didn't know the difference between the red and grey squirrels. I'll get to that in a minute. But he sees it, right, and decides, I want to shoot that. Right? I'm thinking.
Intrusive thought number one.
Well, when he said that, right, although, yeah, all right, that's a little sniggery, like we've just done. It wasn't hilarious. I haven't fell off my seat yet. But I thought that. What he says next is the bit that got me. He says, I want to shoot it. He says, but I've done loads of hunting. I used to go lamping. You know what lamping is?
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know what lamping is, you go around at night time with a really bright light and it stuns the rabbit and what have you, and you can get them and kill them and eat them and do whatever you do. That's for you hunters. So anyway, he says, I've been hunting before, I've shot, and done all of that, and it just seems a bit boring. I want to buy a crossbow. I'm like, oh, a crossbow?
Okay.
I've got pictures in my head now. This poor squirrel. Right? I'm not kidding, right? So anyway, I'm like, mate, how much is a crossbow? He's like, oh, I don't know, about 100 or 200 quid. All right, so it's an expensive intrusive thought then, this one.
Yes.
He says, yeah. Anyway, I went out and got one, and I waited all day for this squirrel, right? I'm sat there waiting. Got my crossbow. It's all loaded and ready to go, right? I've waited all frigging day, and here it comes. It's in my garden, right? I'm sat there, squirrel. Don't scare it off. He sat with a crossbow in his hand. I wonder what that felt like. Right? He's sitting there. He's waiting for the right moment. Thwack! Don't ask why I'm using that word.
What the hell's a thwack?
I don't know. This is how he described it. Thwack. I guess I can't do it, man. My hand. But yeah, I can't clap, by the way. Big loud noise. Anyway. Thwack! Hits this squirrel right in the middle, right? This bolt of the thing flies out of the crossbow straight through the middle of the squirrel and pins it to his next door's garden shed door.
He's got to go knock on the door and ask if he can remove the squirrel.
Well, this is the thing, right? He's like, shit, what do I do now? I shit you not. At that moment, right, his wife walks through the door from work, looks at him as if to say, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? I've crossbowed, I've shot a squirrel. Right, yeah, and points, right, and she went, it's like, that's not Mr. Squirrel, is it? Kicks off, demands that he goes round to his next door neighbour and apologises, and just as he leaves the door, he's just screaming, and clean up that mess. Mate, he's had to go and get this squirrel, pull it off. I can't even imagine how that would have looked. Pull it off the door, come back, and I'm like, well, now what? Like, what do you do with that? So that's one hell of an intrusive thought, right?
That was acted upon.
That was acted upon, right? But I'm thinking, right, okay, we've got some animal lovers on the show. I'm going to particularly like that. However, luckily for everybody, grey squirrels aren't thought of as, in fact, they're a non-protected species. They are, what's the word? I'm going to read this because it's easier. They're not a protected species. Grey squirrels are not native to this country like are red squirrels. I don't think I've ever seen a red squirrel.
No, I don't think I have.
Yet there are squirrels.
Yes.
And the grey ones are not our squirrels. So they are in the top 100 most invasive species in the world.
Didn't the grey squirrels pretty much wipe out the
Pretty much. So they carry all sorts of diseases, and one of them in particular is really bad for our red squirrels. And it's killed them all off. So by law, if you catch a squirrel, you're not allowed to... so if you catch it in one of your rat cages and or whatever, you're not allowed to release it back into the wild. It's against the law. Grey squirrels, it's nice to know at least they're not supposed to be here, and I guess it wouldn't have known what were coming, and if it's gone straight, he did say it didn't move, so it won't have known. So as humane goes,
it sounds like it moved off the fence to the shed door pretty quickly.
Honestly, but then you can imagine the kids. Where's Mr. Squirrel gone?
He's moved on. He's gone to a farm. This one would like to remain anonymous. I can see why.
Yeah.
Right, so my common intrusive thought is stealing. Can you see why it needs to remain anonymous?
Depends what he's stealing. Go on.
So it says, I would never steal from friends or family or any small shop or business.
Of course he wouldn't.
But have acted upon it several times. Like kleptomania.
Is that what that is?
I think so, yeah.
I thought that's people that... I'm going to sound dumb here. I thought that's people that just fall asleep.
No, that's a different one.
Necrophiliac. No, that...
No, let's not go with that one.
You know, the second you say something.
You know. Let's go back to this, shall we? Because this is going to take a dark turn.
Yeah, sorry. I
Right.
just ruined your intrusive thought.
Right, so I have acted upon it several times. Always from places that boast big profits or inflate prices or items, like supermarkets, service stations, fuel stations, such as Esso or BP.
Yeah, Mum.
Bigger ones.
I've been there.
I'll often forget to scan certain items when I'm doing a scan as you go big shop. Usually a crate of beer. Fair.
Whoa. That's a good one.
It's a big thing to, yeah.
Not just a chocolate bar.
It states here, I once stole a 12-pack of Krispy Kreme donuts from a services.
Krispy Kreme.
Sorry. Before the self-service checkouts had scales, I used to scan one cheap item and then place one expensive item on the bagging area. I once scanned a packet of chewing gum and got a full turkey crown for Christmas. And,
Brilliant.
And I mean, this is fair, okay? It says, I still boast a 100% never been caught record. Taking this one a step further, though, I often think and plot how to pull off a major heist. I would meticulously plan the whole thing, work totally alone, never write anything down, and never once tell a soul. So I would be a secret charlatan.
Secret charlatan being some like undercover type of, yeah.
I mean, that's another intrusive thought that has been acted on.
Thief.
Deep, it's naughty, do
An
not
anonymous
do that.
thief. Can't tell you who it is. Yeah, like 2 for 1.
I mean, genuinely, I remember a time where onions, because my kids have an obsession with Granny Smith apples, okay? And onions were 14 pence a piece, and Granny Smith apples were 90 pence a piece. And if I'm buying 20 Granny Smith apples, they definitely got put through as onions. Definitely. So, yeah, no, I can see the point.
Yeah, I'm saying nothing. The services and stuff like that. I mean, I thought killing squirrels was bad enough, and now we have thieves. Thanks, everyone. Show's doing well. Thieves.
Right, so the next one, I'll go back to refer to my notes.
Oh, okay.
The next one came from Pete, the steel erector. I believe
Yeah.
you used to have worked with Pete.
I did. Yeah.
So this came
Pete's,
through.
Pete, just to stop. Pete, daft as a brush. Right. He's got some funny stories. The guy's writ off more vans for work than I've fitted steel. I'm not. And then you're going to say, well, you don't fit very much steel. But yeah, no.
Well, yeah, sorry about that, Pete, because I've not met you, so I can't
No,
describe
you can't
whether
comment.
you are daft as a brush
But you're
or not.
reading it out.
However, so Pete has wrote in, I've been working with some, well, one for a better word, challenged individuals lately. Would that be you?
No. Actually, I have been off sick.
So we are steel erectors. Most of our work is done out of cherry picker machines.
Do you know what a cherry picker machine is?
I believe so, yeah.
Right, so most people probably don't unless you work in the industry. So you'll see them blue or orange machines with the big arm. It's got the basket on, and you see people working really up high.
As it states, these are blue and orange machines that you see with the basket on the end of a boom that holds 2 people to work at heights. I've been stuck with them all bloody week and had to stand on the ground talking them through every step of the install of the steel. Said to my gaffer, can I just go up there and do it? No, he says they have to learn. We've all been there. As I walked back round to where the machine is, I thought, if I just switch the machine controls to down here with me, I could just tip them out of it, and then I could get this bloody job finished, and I can go home. Obviously, this one wasn't acted upon, so he didn't do this. And as he states here, I am not home yet. I like that. It's just a grafter that's just trying to get home, isn't he?
Yeah. I probably would recommend against maybe acting on that, but it's a good.
Yeah, there would
intrusive
definitely be a
thought.
lawsuit of some sort there.
It's a good intrusive thought. Next. Oh, okay, right. So this next one comes from Laura, not my wife Laura, Laura from the Garibaldi's football group. Now, I do want to say, first of all, I asked, do you want to stay anonymous for this? Because we're now going to go into the whole point of the intrusive thoughts. And she's sort of just kind of given me a bit of a list on how she's feeling. I've had a bit of a chat with her about it, but she was really keen and really happy to be, how she says, open with her thoughts, because they're a little bit dark. She would say the same, which is fine. So, hi, Paul, great idea with the podcast. Here's mine as requested. Okay, so the first one that she says is pretty much the same as Mr. Anonymous. Was it you, Laura? Would I get away with not paying for this? We're absolutely surrounded with thieves. No one cares if I'm not around no more, and would it hurt? Quite a bad intrusive thought. These are the dark and horrible intrusive thoughts that the mental health game plays on you. And would it hurt is if you were to jump. Yeah, I get that. No one likes me. I'm socially awkward. When I don't know what to talk about, I bore them. I've been there. I felt exactly the same as that before.
You bore the life out of me sometimes.
Let's hope we don't bore the life out of you. What would happen if I just let rip at 90 mile an hour and didn't stop on the M1? This next one's a good one. Take him out and get the ball. So that's very much football orientated. I think all dads especially have thought that one. Could bloom and kill him if I could get away with it. And then in capitals, and a darkened mind of what I do, laughy face. and then I just want to put this on here just again because she messaged it. So she says, I'm quite open with my mental health and learn to accept it's part of who I am. So I really don't mind whether you say my name or keep it anonymous, which I thought was brave. So thank you very much, Laura. I really, really appreciate that. I've had those exact same thoughts. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
On more than one occasion, and they are not nice. Dealing with them is the hardest thing. It's all right having the intrusive thought. A lot of counselling because of the accident. My mental health. I was struggling with my mental health before the accident, but the accident made it a lot worse with the PTSD and all of that stuff.
I completely agree with that. I've had many thoughts, the same or similar, but it's very really counselling or talking to you or talking to Tash, things like that made me realise that I needed to start dealing with it.
And the fact that she says that she's, what was it she said? That she's open with the mental health and learn to accept it. I don't think you have to accept the bad thoughts. And this isn't me telling Laura, what to do or anybody what to do. All I'm saying is, through my counselling and through talking to you, like we're saying, I've learned to accept that it doesn't have to be like that. I don't need to have these bad intrusive thoughts. Then you do a little bit of revision into why you have really bad intrusive thoughts. I'll talk about that in a second, but it's normal. It's absolutely normal to have these thoughts. Everybody at some point during the day will have that exact thing. So as far as Laura's concerned, you are definitely not alone. I bet you anybody watching this has had the jump thought.
Yeah, 100%.
Things don't always go your way. Life is difficult. Do you know what I mean? It's not. And then some people get a difficult moment, and a difficult moment, and another one, and another one, and another one, and then it's just overloads everything. And me personally, I 100% totally get where you're coming from. And sometimes this socially awkward feeling, this fight or flight, and it feels very much like flight. When you're talking, I struggle to make eye contact with people because I think I'm more embarrassed for myself than I am. And it's confrontation, isn't it?
You don't like to feel like you're putting somebody in that awkward position as well.
No, you don't. You feel like you're invading their space by looking at them in the eyes. Yeah. In fact, if you watch this video, you'll see I'm all over the place to start. And over the weeks, I'll get better at this. But it's because I'm probably uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I've never done anything like this before. It's really good. I'm enjoying it, but it's difficult to. I like to use my body and the body language and things like that. But looking at you dead in the eye, as well as we know each other, is still difficult. Yeah. I just like that we've got a microphone in the way. So, what is an intrusive thought? Well, an intrusive thought is a random thought in your head.
In your head.
In your head.
In your head. Aye. Carry on, Paul.
Yeah. It is a random thought in your head. It's a random thought in your head that can be quite confusing or disturbing. It's absolutely normal. As I've said, so many people have gone through this. So many people, and it's all caused by your daily stresses, whether it's work, whether it's blended families, like we've said, loss. There's all sorts of different factors as to why. OCD and PTSD are huge causes of intrusive thoughts. I'm going to say something widely said to people with struggling mental health issues and thoughts, or anything else for that matter. Okay, let me read this out as I've sort of written it down. Just I want to get this right. I'm personally not a fan of it because I think it's a shrug off. It's a way of people not dealing with.
There's a lot of that in life.
I don't think it's something that you would generally do with each other. But so intrusive thoughts are not harmful. However, if they are causing you significant pain or concern or interacting with your daily activities or just bothering you, you should talk to your GP or consult a mental health professional. Right? Now, that's the professional. You'll probably see that written on the internet. I know I did. Now, that's not what I hear at all when I hear that sentence, or if I read that sentence on my phone or on the internet or anything like that. This is what I hear. However, if you're struggling with significant pain or concern, blah, 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 speak to a GP or professional. Why don't you try and talk to your doctor, who is arguably the hardest person on the planet to get in contact with, and is a complete stranger? Don't know about you, but if you came to me and said you were having problems that were consistently giving you pain or bothering you, and I said, go and talk to that stranger over there, but he's sprinting a million miles an hour. You can't catch
it's
him.
not going to work. We've both been there.
It's
We've both
not right.
been for your 15-minute appointment, and you do feel like you're being kind of fobbed off and put on a waiting list.
Personally, I don't think they really give a shit either. No. And probably because they're under so much stress to get the next patient and the next patient and the next patient. They're already thinking 3 or 4 patients down the way. I don't know how it works in doctors' practices. I don't know if they have read through everyone's notes. They probably haven't got time to do that, to be fair. So maybe that they don't get a chance to see, oh, what happened last time I spoke to him or whatever. They might do quickly. My personal experience in there is it is an absolute stranger who isn't ready to talk to you.
But then you've also got to think from the doctor side of things. We've just briefly commented on how uncomfortable it would be to have that person come up to you and want to talk to you. If that happens on a daily basis, it's going to be uncomfortable for the doctors.
Something we need to all be looking at. How to train or teach the other person how to deal with. Now, doctors will be trained in stuff like that. I think they're under massive amounts of stress, right? Nobody, and tell me if I'm wrong, nobody enjoys the thought of having to go to the doctors because of how difficult it is. You can't get an appointment. If you go in the waiting list in the morning, for example, you're in a huge-ass queue with a load of people in there. If you're someone like me that suffers with a little bit of social anxiety, sitting in the doctors is horrible. I hate it.
Yeah, especially with everything that's been going around as well.
Yeah, because you're thinking about all those bad things. And I almost have to give myself a script.
What you're going to say to the doctor.
What you're going to say. Yeah. And you assume that person's judging you straight away.
And how daft do you feel saying it?
Yeah, really silly, really silly. And the one I got last time was, so do you want me to give you a tablet? Well, is there a tablet?
Yeah. You tell me.
I obviously knew there was, but still though, as if someone's really struggling. And I bet you people sometimes on a quiet day for the doctors, that person might get, but it's not widely done, I don't think, at the doctors. And it's not the doctors themselves. It's the system. Yeah. The system doesn't feel right. So when I'm told to speak to my GP, I'm asked to do that like it's my mate, like it's someone I speak to on a daily basis. And I think for most of us, I don't think that's the case at all. Next, alternatively, spend an absolute arm and a leg on a shrink. Now, we don't call them that in this country, but we all watch a lot of TV, a lot of movies and stuff like that. I'm going to say right now, it's not like that at all. Those of you who've had counselling will know this. It's not like that at all. But it is the first thing everyone thinks. Go and see a GP who's a stranger. or spend lots and lots of money on a shrink and lie down on a sofa, which you'll have seen in the intro, lie down on a sofa and cry. That my personal experience and my counsellor has been fantastic. Also from Newcastle, which was quite nice actually, because it broke the ice straight away, which made life a little bit more comfortable for me, I guess, and her, I would have thought. Yeah. But she's been brilliant because she's allowed me to express how I feel comfortably. Yeah. And it's video call. Now, initially, I was very much, I would have preferred to have been face-to-face with someone to talk to them, but actually, it worked really well. We did a phone call and stuff like that. I will encourage everybody, and I mean everybody, whether you're having mental health issues or not, to have counselling. It isn't as expensive as you think. Mine's currently being... It's easy to say it's not expensive. Mine's currently being covered by a charity called the Lighthouse Charity, and they deal with construction workers who've been in accidents and stuff like that. So I get so many sessions for free through that charity, and thank you to that charity. They've been pretty good. But I will be carrying it on afterwards. Once all of this arm stuff's all sorted, and if I can get back to work and things like that, it's like £60 a session. It'll be the best £60. Maybe do it a month. Maybe do it once every 2 months. Yeah. Or just check in every 6 months or something like that. Do you know what I mean? And do you know what? That's just the one that I've been with. There'll be others there. I know work, they have... doesn't every employer have to have a let
I
to
believe so,
mental
yeah.
health?
I believe they do, yeah.
I don't believe that they put that on there because they're generally bothered about your mental health. It's very much a box-ticking exercise.
Or tick boxing.
Tick boxing.
Have you got ticks? Tick boxing.
Yeah.
See, that's how I saw that.
Okay.
That's how I saw that.
I can see this little tick, cartoon tick with boxing gloves on. Yes, companies do a lot of tick boxing.
They have to. They have to cover themselves as well, don't they?
Oh no, I get that, and if I understand, but it's not pushed. It's not. This is what we have available, or. And I know the money side of things for businesses is difficult and stuff like that. I think they just get whichever one's recommended and whatever. And I don't even think I think they should try them themselves.
Yeah.
And go, actually, you know what? My lads, I'm saying lads, sorry, anybody, my staff.
My employees.
You have employees.
I have employees.
Do you provide them with mental health, wellness?
From my own well-being, yeah.
From your experiences.
From my own experiences.
I think a certain size company, yours is tiny small. Yeah. I think they have to, if you're over so many staff or something like that,
so.
or whatever.
I don't know statistics.
Yeah. Anyway,
but
that's free.
Yeah.
For most people who have employment. Now, if you're self-employed, okay. Granted, you won't have that, but there will be different things, I would imagine, if you're self-employed that you can look at. You don't have to go and spend a fortune. No. But my main point was, do the counselling.
I mean, I can't agree anymore with the counselling. I mean, I've had 3 different therapists now, I think. Therapist, is that the right word? Counsellor, therapist?
Yeah. I think they're trying to do away with the whole... Because it's too deep, it's too thingy. Counselling seems like they're coaching.
Yeah. Well, it does genuinely. I mean, my first sessions, again, mine were done through video call. My first session, I did it because I wanted to tick the boxes. Genuinely.
I want the box to fight with a tick.
But for me, I was really sceptical.
Oh, yeah.
Straight off the bat, I was really sceptical. The first couple of sessions did not feel personal at all. It just felt like just talking at this person, again, a complete stranger who doesn't know me. And then I'd say probably about the third session, I actually sat there and thought, hang on a second, this actually has suddenly become personal. She's talking to me with my name. She's talking to me about, she'd mentioned Tash and thing. And it was, oh, okay, yes, I know she's written notes. Yes, I know she's got them notes of what we've last spoke about.
And other clients. That always goes through my mind. Other clients.
But it felt personal. And that was a massive thing for me. But what they did for me, they didn't... I think it was the third session where she turned around, she says, I can't fix you. I'm not trying to fix you. I'm trying to give you the tools for you to fix yourself.
Right.
And I thought, that makes so much sense. Because for me, again, you think of the whole laying on a couch kind of thing. And there was a lot of stigma around that. It was a lot of, that's not going to work.
We're going to break.
Yeah. Yeah. And I still have sessions now, and I look forward to my sessions.
Oh, I do.
I was like, all right, I've got a session, and I've got a session end of this week, and it's like, oh, yeah, I'm genuinely looking forward to having my session.
And then you find yourself talking about some of the dark stuff that you've gone through and things like that. But it doesn't. My counsellor made it really comfortable at the start, where I had this vision in my head, right, especially with a video call, where I'm talking on her thing, and she's looking at her computer, checking an email, and then quickly looking at a note and going, so how does that make you feel? Yeah. You know, like you're expecting that, and it wasn't. She's 100% totally engaged in me, and is like, look, this is your time, not my time. This is yours. So you, and okay, some people might struggle with leading whatever the conversation, but they'll pick up on that. I'm better when I'm probed.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
No, let's come back to that.
I'm better when I am prompted and asked questions. I feel a bit better when it comes to stuff like that. Like that's me personally, and everyone will have their own thing. But it is your time, and I love that. And she or mine particularly gives you so much room to explore the different things. The only thing I would suggest is be completely open-minded. Go there and think to myself, right, okay, I don't know if this is going to work on me, my issues. Bearing in mind, everyone's mental health issues are, if there was a graph, right, or 100%. Yeah. It doesn't matter whether you think that mine's more serious than yours, whatever. My own issues are the worst.
Yeah. Even
if they're not as significant as some people would, you know, they're your issues. But go in there completely open-minded. If you're susceptible to change, as well as, you know what, I've been dying to get this off my throat, off my chest. Like, I need to talk about this, but I don't know how. Tell them that.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell them the thing it is. Just say, right, I want to talk. I don't want to talk. There's that as well, isn't there? You know. So yeah, I would.
They have ways and means. They're
trained to do this, man, and they're really good.
They are. They're brilliant. They're fantastic. Like I say, you can't recommend it enough. Neither can I.
Oh, I wish I'd done it years ago.
Yeah.
And I think it should be part of a whatever business. I think businesses should say, right, this month is your half an hour or hour to come into the business, and we get so-and-so in. I think it should be a government-funded thing. Yep. Where people come in, and that week or month or however you wanted to do it, where you come in and you sit down. Do you know how you see on the movies, or how did the fire service do this? Did they give you allocated time?
There was always time for your own mental health and well-being. It was a big thing in the fire service. Yeah.
I think everybody should, within all businesses. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you work in McDonald's, you're a cleaner, you're a high top bank owner. It doesn't matter. There should still be somewhere for you to go and sit down and have that without feeling like you need to go out and source it, because sometimes you, like me, needed pushed into this. Yeah. Now, my accident was the catalyst for me to really come out and talk about this. The feeling after three sessions, you'll feel.
It is a completely different.
I wouldn't say you'd
person.
feel amazing to the point where your life is completely changed. It just does this. It's like it's not a eureka moment. I've spoke about the eureka moment a lot with my counsellor.
Yep.
Like I'm waiting for this. I've changed. I'm a massively great human being now. I've righted all my wrongs. Yep. No, that's not going to happen. What is going to happen is, if there are any wrongs going to happen in the future, I'm mentally more stable and better equipped within my mind on how to deal with it.
Yeah.
Like the intrusive thoughts. So let's have a little look. So there is a takeaway that, like I mentioned to everybody, that we want to give everyone on every single episode, where you get to take something away and practice it. We need to practice this one as well, because when I read about it, I was like, what is this? Now, we might even add this in a little blooper, because I had it written down on a piece of paper and it's not in front of me, and I don't want to stop recording because it's a good topic. So I'm going to go and get it, and I'll leave this man with you for 2 seconds.
Thanks.
Sorry.
Paul, as organised as ever. You do like a statistic, don't you?
I do love a statistic. We'll go through the takeaway first. Key takeaway. I don't know it myself. I'm gonna probably do a little bit more research on it. I've read what it is. It looks crazy to me. It's not really difficult to do. Anyway, it's called EMDR. You remember what that stands for?
Eye movement something.
Yeah.
Eye movement desensitization reprocessing.
That's right. So EMDR. So eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. What the hell is that? Well, so EMDR is a type of therapy that can help people heal from traumatic experiences.
PTSD and the such like. Yep.
PTSD, exactly. OCD, stuff like that comes with, your stress and stuff like that. There's been loads of studies done by a particular woman, I believe, this Francine, I can't pronounce her surname, so if she ever was to see this, I apologize. Shapiro.
It sounds Italian.
Yeah, okay. So she did over 30 studies and looked at the effectiveness of EMDR therapy for several mental health conditions, and it from what I've read, was an absolute success. So one of the recommendations to do with it is when you get an intrusive thought, like jump, some of the bad ones, or
shoot a squirrel,
or ram that mic down my throat, blah, 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 blah. The idea, right, is to move your eyes. So even if you're walking the dog, or yeah, exactly. Now it sounds really weird, doesn't it, right? There's something to do with movement in your brain when you're thinking of an intrusive thought. She found that she actually experienced this because she tried it herself while she was walking the dog. So she was having an intrusive thought, a dark, horrible, nasty intrusive thought. And she started moving her eyes around and instantly felt better. So she's like, well, I'm going to go and keep trying this. This sounds nuts, right? And I know it does. But apparently it works. So takeaway for today for intrusive thoughts. And by the way, they can help with things like depression, anxiety disorders, eating disorders, addiction, grief, chronic pain and illness, something to do with moving your eyes. Think of it, start moving your eyes around and apparently you'll feel better. So between now and obviously the next lot of episodes that come out, I'd like everyone to try and give this a go. Laura from the Gary Baldy's team. It's awkward when there's two Lauras. I think they were going to call one Gary. Just as a funny thing. Or something like that. I'm sure I'll get told, no, you're wrong. You're completely wrong. Yeah, and she's found that other people have had this. So eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. EMDR. Check it out. Try it. Read about it. Give it a go. See what happens.
Let us know. Let us know if it's worked for you.
Definitely. I want to know.
Yeah.
Put your comments in below. Send us an email. Drop it on our Facebook. Send us a little video in. Anything you want to do. We'll, tell us if you want to play it out or not. We'll definitely get on that. But there's your takeaway for this week's episode. And while we're talking about that, this stat's up on the screen now. Me and Nadia are just going to read from this. So, as you can see there, this is just England as well. 5,656 suicides registered in 2023. Now that's 5,656 too many in my opinion.
That's in 1 year. That is in 12 months.
That's mental health. Yeah, I didn't like that when I seen that, and even more so the ratio between the sort of male and female as well. Now, 1,468 females, committing suicide is horrendous anyway. But then to look at why it quadruples, no, not quadruples, it triples.
Yep.
I mean, 75%, 4,000 to your 1.5 is crazy.
The key stats for me was the age groups with the high suicide rate per 100,000 for men between 45 and 49. It was like that's
is that the highest?
It's a big old statistic.
We've got to get that down, man.
You'd like to think at 45, 49, between 45 and 49, you've got your life in order.
So you've been through your adolescent. You've been through maybe loss, work, accidents, retiring from the fire service. You know what I mean? Yeah, you'd feel like you're at that point now where you could deal with it. Well, clearly not.
See, that number's too big. That number's way too big. Obviously, one of the predominant things that Enlighten the Shadows do is help people in this situation.
Okay, cool.
So it's definitely worth, I mean, like we said, the links on there, if you feel you need to use them, do so. They are there for that. There's other charities out there, obviously the Samaritans, like you can see where we got the statistic from, but use them. And I think the whole point in the podcast is to trying to help people not to get to that point.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. But I'm not going to get to that point unless you help me.
Yeah.
Right.
And vice versa.
And this is, but I mean that as a generalization as well.
Yeah.
You're not going to get to that point unless he helps you or she helps you. And you need to help them. This was my whole thought around it. Your wife, my wife, put us together and made us talk, literally by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah,
right?
It's their fault.
Finally, it's their fault. Yeah,
you've got them to thank for having to put it with us.
No, but it is, and I needed pushed into it. Now maybe you'll be watching this and thinking, do you know what? It's time, or it's not. Even if you think it's not, just keep watching. Try these little hints and tips. We've got loads of different ways. We're going to give you at least one per episode on whatever the topic of that episode is.
Yep.
Self-care, you have to put a face mask on, but I'm only kidding. Or Tabasco sauce in my drink. Mate, I'm not looking forward to that because it's bound to come now, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And no doubt you'll put comments in. That's this episode really coming to an end. I'm pretty happy with what we've got in there for you guys. Let's do a little recap then. So, crossbow. What did you think?
Don't do it. Don't do it, people.
No, don't
do it.
Shoot.
I am slightly curious as to how do you come across a crossbow? How do you just go out and buy a crossbow?
I don't know, mate.
And where's he gone to buy one? Are these things legally purchased in the UK?
Well, that's the thing. Did you walk into a shop and say, "Excuse me, mate, can I have that crossbow?"
Because I'd like to take out a squirrel that's doing nothing wrong, that your wife is feeding.
Did you eat it?
You've enticed it into your garden for you to kill it.
Oh, right. And you lot, stop stealing.
Yes, stop stealing. But rest in peace, Mr. Squirrel.
Rest in peace, Mr. Squirrel. Should we have a moment for Mr. Squirrel? If I had a hat, I'd take it off.
So, recap from me. I need to remember Tabasco sauce for next time.
You do. You also... Oh, I need to remember. What colour did you get again?
Pink and glittery,
Pink.
I think it was. I'm looking forward to that.
You're probably thinking, why are you doing that? Because the next episode is self-care. Particularly women's, because women seem to have this amazing way of pampering themselves to make themselves feel better. Men rev motorbike. I've never been on a bike. I don't do bikes. But football, watch football and drink and go Larry and joke and stuff like that. But that's the whole point. This is what we're going to talk about. Intrusive thoughts, no matter how significant they are, whether they're light, like we've kind of made a point of telling funny ones. They don't have to be dark and depressing all the time. But if they are, you are not alone. We're here. We're happy to sit and listen to everyone's on the comments and things like that. I encourage anyone to get their stuff in there.
Just remember, get them eyes moving.
Oh yeah,
we definitely need to give that a try.
Yeah, no, 100%. Start moving their eyes around. I want to know if it works.
We've got to give it a try.
It looks interesting. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if I'm generally feeling that low, shifting my eyes around, is that going to make me feel any better? Apparently it does.
It's certainly going to take your mind off it.
Well, yeah, you're going to think about, yeah, why not? Let's give it a go.
Disorientation.
This was the whole point of the counselling, though, was it not?
Yep.
Let's be open-minded. Let's try things that you wouldn't normally try. Let's not say straight away, sod that, not doing that. Let's give things a go, and we will try everything that you guys will try. So, again, you're not alone in this. Get your thoughts in the comments below. Like we said, it's been brilliant doing this. We have a Facebook channel now. I want to know if people like to see the bloopers and stuff like that, the thoughts that we might stick a few in there, because delivery earlier on our first episode.
Two deliveries.
Yeah. So, let us know if that's the type of stuff that you like seeing. And any other content. There might be stuff about the intrusive thoughts that you want us to come back to. We're more than happy. I want to keep this nice and relaxed. Let us know if you try that. Let's get that suicide down together with everybody else. Get those eyes moving. Like I say, I want to try that myself we've got to get that going. Get your comments in below. Don't forget to get over and check our new Facebook page out. We're going to be putting some stuff on there, daft pictures and videos and stuff like that. We'll put links to all the Enlighten the Shadow stuff, which will be super interesting. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're about. And we'll get to some of their shows and stuff like that. We'll leave a link in the description of the Facebook page. Let us know all your EMDR therapy. Did it work? Did it not? Don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of the episodes that we're going to be bringing out soon with the self-care, putting things like these on our faces and stuff.
I think that's about right there then, Mucker.
That is about right. Well, this has been Stuck in the Middle. I'm Geordie Paul, and I'm all in.
I'm Andy Man, and I'm all in.
Are you all in? We just done our first episode. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. The ending. Oh, I had that nailed and all.
Was there with it.
This is Stuck in the Middle. I'm Geordie Paul, and I'm all in.
I'm Andy Man, and I'm all in.
And this, oh shit, are you all in?
Are you all in?
Yes, right. Okay, so. Oh, you walk. Deliver us.
Excuse me.
Actually, it's gonna come. Hey mate, I love just yeah, sorry.
Yeah, just sign inbox for me, please.
Sober's in the way that. Oh, hang on, what's that? All right.
There's your first blooper.
there's the first blooper. That's great. Do you know what it is?
We waited months for this moment. The second we start,
months for this moment.
Knocks on the door. Blooper 2. A blooper. Get it in the bloopers.
You alright, mate? Sorry, I can't open the front door and the suckers. Yeah. Oh, shit.
Quick snap, I'm sorry, pal.
Nice one, cheers, pal.